Salutations. My name is Gregor Joy John, also known as the Gregor J. John Collective, and I will post a video another time that has a little bit more of my testimony in it as to why I call myself the Gregor J. John Collective, and also why I use the big grandiose name, Oracle High Priestess of Travel, which, don't get fussed about that. Just call me Gregor, okay? There's more explanation. We'll share with that later. But right now, after the introduction, I want to take a broader look at the 9 basic elements. We will get down into looking at each individual energy. Right now, I want to look at a broader look of the elements of the energies and their aspects that go with them, from a perspective of all of them together, and how we actually use them. So every one of us has a personality. Basically, that's really what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about your personality from the perspective of the energy that we use and the energy that we give out and the energy that we focus and function in. In the Travel UNUM Perspective, there are 9 basic energies, and the basic energies are our personality, how we function, how we fluctuate through the world. And this helps us to understand that we are different, we are unique, and that it's okay to be who we are, and it's okay for somebody else who's weird, and what is with them? It's okay for them to be weird. It's okay for them to live their lifestyle in a way that does not suit you at all. In fact, if you lived the way someone else lives, it would be wrong, just wrong. And in fact, when you look at someone else living their life, you're like, you are wrong. What is wrong with you? And you don't get it. But it's okay because we're all different and we're meant to be. Okay? And we'll talk more about how to actually integrate that. But right now we're looking at the 9 basic energies because I want to help you see if you can identify which energy you feel more aligned with. Okay? Most people, a lot of generalization, most people have 1 major energy and then maybe 1 minor energy or 2 minor energies. Some people might have 2 major energies, and some people have a multiple of minor energies that then they focus and work through and generate and grow up and mature in, and then maybe they might combine those into 1 major energy and a minor or something like that. So there's a lot of ways to work with your energies, but you know what I mean? There's some kids in this world who are born into this world and they just know who they are. They're boom, here they are, hello world, and everything just seems to go right for them, you know? A lot of those young kids have 1 energy focus and they're really good at this and they know they're good at it and they just go for it. And that's very helpful. Some kids don't really know who they are yet when they're born, and they seem to be, you know, a lot of the geeks, nerds and dorks, they don't rise to their own power. And because they don't rise to their own power and they don't recognize their own power, and they have a lot of difficulty with the insecurity, and that may happen because of a lot of things. We'll get into that later too. But because they don't really know who they are yet, it takes a while for them to figure out who they are. But later on in life, as we are in the age of the geek, thank you, Hardison from Leverage. I'm a nerd and a dork and all that sort of stuff, and so I will probably reference a lot of TV shows. Please don't consider it copyright. I hope it's not. I presume that, as with writing, you can mention things, but I'm not like trying to steal anything from them. Go watch the show, buy it, whatever. Buy the books, watch the shows, read the books, watch the shows, do that. But we're in the age of the geek, and a lot of those geeks have found that they didn't know themselves very well, and they weren't very powerful in their own selves as kids or as teenagers, or even as young adults. But as they learn to understand themselves better, then they become incredibly powerful, and all of a sudden, woof, you know, they're writing programs that are changing the whole world. So it's an exciting time. And this is what I talk about being a Travel strategist, an energy strategist, is learning to understand your own energy and going with your energy and becoming as powerful as you are in yourself, understanding yourself, healing what needs to be hurt, because a lot of us are carrying around wounds. And as I'm a healer, so that's my goal, is to help you identify your strengths and identify your woundings so we can heal them and be the most powerful person that you can be. I'll even use the term magic. Again, that's a red flag word. Take a breath. Everyone's magical. everyone's magical. Talk to a large majority of 5-year-old little girls. I do believe in fairies. I do. We love magic. And if magic scares you because there's a dark side to magic, it's okay. All right. But take this from a scientific perspective, okay? I'm going to try and break it down scientifically so we can observe it. That's what science is. Science is observing and taking record. So from a scientific perspective or a personality perspective, everyone has an energy in which they function and work in. So this is also mentioned in a lot of role-playing games, tabletop, LARPing, video games. There's where everyone in a particular party, a questing party, has a different role. And within that, everyone has a different role, everyone doing their own thing and doing things differently. Within that, the task gets accomplished. So you have your tanks that run into the fray. They're right there in the middle of it, and they're beating on the enemy, whoever the enemy is, and they're taking the hits, and they can do it because that's their strength. And then you have people who are back, and they shoot and they fire from a distance, and they don't necessarily have a lot of armor on because they need more flexibility. And there's so many implications, and you know what I'm talking about. The hero's journey in literature talks about this as well. We all have a different way of doing things. So that's what the TR3V3L3 UNUM Perspective is all about. It's looking at energy and looking at our personality and finding where we are strong. Okay? Now we're going to probably see if we can get this video to about 10 minutes. 6 to 10 minutes is my goal. So we can have, again, throne room sittings, one sitting to sit and watch. This one, we're going to talk about also abundance and lack of energy. Now, the abundance and lack of energy can also be positive and negative, but that doesn't necessarily mean good and evil, okay? Positive and negative, like on a magnet. It doesn't automatically mean if it's positive, it's good. If it's negative, it's bad. You can have a positive in a bad situation that makes it bad. Like if you come into a room of mourning, be like, hey, happy, 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 happy. Everyone's going to be like, somebody just died. Why are you being so disrespectful? So we need to be wise about this. Okay. So positive and negative, abundance and a lack need to be applied in appropriate manners. Now, instead of it being a linear line like you learned in math, where you've got your negative numbers and your positive numbers on a line, energy is more of a helix. It's more like a spring, like a slinky. I'll just age myself. I loved slinkies as a kid. Still do. One of my favorite toys. But it's more like a helix. So you're constantly revisiting and constantly coming around to things. Negative, positive, abundance, lack, whatever. And you can move along there. It's very fluid and flexible. So that's what we're going to work with. Energy is energy. It is neither good nor evil. Okay, let me just say that right there. Energy is not good or evil. The way we apply that energy might be beneficial or unbeneficial. It might actually be good, and there might actually be great evil in it. But the difference is something being good or evil, or something being beneficial or unbeneficial, is based on the choice that the wielder is using. Okay? So this is all about choice. You are free to be who you are. Within that freedom, you have choice to do what you want to do. And how you wield your energy is going to have consequences. And how those consequences, how you respond to those consequences, and how other people respond to those consequences, that's our free will choice. Okay? So this TR3V3L3 UNUM philosophy, I'm trying to keep it simple, but it's a breakthrough idea that's going to really graduate you into a maturity of your soul, because you need to recognize and respond. You're free to make whatever choice. You are free to be who you are. And with that freedom comes great responsibility, because however you choose to live, you need to live in those consequences. You create your own life. This is what so many of the gurus have been talking about. Your choices and how you think create the life you're living. Could be beautiful, could not be so beautiful. But you get to choose, okay? You also have choices made on you, all right? If you are not purposefully and mindfully making your choices, then it's very likely that someone else is going to purposefully and mindfully make those choices for you or on you or against you, okay? There's a lot of interaction that we're going to deal with. Energy is also fluid. Please remember that. We are trying to look at fluid energies that have layers and layers and veils, and we're going to peel back some of those layers, all right? So take a deep breath. Know that you are loved, you are beautiful, and you have the power to learn to be responsible, to wield your power, to make your life better, to heal yourself. I love you. Eternal love loves you. And let's get into some more business with the next videos. Mwah. See ya.